What is going on, everybody? Today we are going to take a look at a new knife. This is a very odd box. Very odd, very square box for such a little knife. Let's get to it here. This is a new knife from Cold Steel. This is obviously not GSM's released knife. This knife was obviously ordered long before the sale of Cold Steel, so it's not a new knife from GSM. They are obviously, it's coming from them, but it is the Kyoto one. It's a cool little fixed blade knife, and there's the specs. It's a 3 1/4 inch blade. It's 6 5/8 overall, 8 CR, 13 NOV, weighs 3 ounces and 3 millimeters thick. All right, so, and it has a kayaks holster. Pretty cool. Let's cut the tape here. All right. Oh yeah, that is small. Now, the thing that kind of is clueless to me is how this holster is supposed to fix to anything. There we go. Some more light probably would help a little bit more. There's absolutely no way to fix this. I guess you have to try to figure out some way to make it a neck knife or tie it onto something. Yeah, that's kind of weird. You think it would have a clip or something. So that's pretty odd. It's a little dirty, but yeah, that's kind of cool. It's got the kind of rubbery, typical handles that Cold Steel usually has, but in the form, shape of, you know, the samurai sword with the stingray and the cloth wrapping, but it's not really any of that. It's actually a rubbery grip, which is good because that gives you pretty good traction for such a small knife. And obviously, even though it's a take of a samurai sword, it has the typical American Tanto, which is really cool. I like that a lot. So yeah, there's the branding, made in China now, instead of Malaysia or Taiwan, I should say. Yeah, Taiwan is where a lot of the fixed blades are made, so that's kind of interesting. So anyhow, yeah, it's pretty cool. And it looks like aluminum. This looks yeah, it looks like it's aluminum, not necessarily steel. So even though it is 8 MOV, you know, Cold Steel is usually really good with their heat treatments. You can see, you know, I mean, I have a medium-sized hand, so you can kind of see if you really choke up on it, I can get 4 fingers on it. Not exactly perfectly comfortable, but it's pretty cool. You know, you can get a good grip on there and kind of choke up on it. It's thick enough to do that for some cutting task, you know, if you're cutting some cardboard, you know, it feels pretty comfortable in the hand. Like I said, the rubbery handle makes it good for really getting a good grip onto it too. So makes cutting tasks really good. So now, like I said, I don't know why there's not like a pocket clip or a belt loop on here. I'm sure you must be able to probably purchase something like that. I don't know, you know, I guess I'll have to look into that and see if there's something that, you know, I mean, obviously, you know, if you have a molly rig or something, you know, you can obviously tie it into a molly rig and stuff like that. But, you know, it's a pretty cool little knife. I mean, you know, compared to, compare it size-wise, you can see where it steers against the Vero Impulse Mini, and I got the new Civivi keen natter. So yeah, it's smaller than them, but you know, for a fixed blade, that's pretty cool because, you know, it makes it cool for an EDC knife. Even though it's a fixed blade, you could actually carry this knife, you know, in your belt loop or something, or tuck it inside your waistband, you know, and you probably wouldn't even notice that handle, black handle necessarily, especially if it's under your shirt or t-shirt or something like that. You probably wouldn't even notice it. Pretty small, very discreet. So you could actually EDC this knife, you know, makes good handy knife for, you know, for around the house, or, you know, in the shop or in your car or whatever, you know. So yeah, you know, pretty cool little knife, you know, will be interesting, you know. You know, you can certainly do quite a bit with it, you know. Like I said, we'll see, you know, the heat treatment for cold steel, even though it's not a super steel, you know, it's got a good edge on it, and you know it's, yeah, it's got a really good edge on it. So, you know, you can even see it very well. It's a nice angled edge, and a nice Tanto tip. Very aggressive, flat grind all the way around. And you know, like I said, with their, you know, heat treating is usually the best around in the business, really, when it comes to, you know, foreign made knives. You know, he's very finicky, always been very finicky about his heat treatments. So, but that is the Kyoto 1, and it's a small little knife, but I think it's pretty handy for a lot, you know, for a fixed blade. That makes it pretty handy knife, you know. So I think it, you know, if you're looking for a really small knife that maybe you can EDC, then you might be able to do that. Now, like I said, kind of clueless of what's going on with the holster. Not everybody likes these holsters because the edge tends to rub on it and dull the blade. So, and plus there's absolutely nothing, like no pocket clip or belt loop or anything. So that's kind of upsetting. SecureX might make some accessories that you know, more than likely they do, that bolt on, you know, but this should have came with something. But this is like a, I think it was like a $30 knife. So, but still, anyhow, we can argue that all day of whether or not it should have came with some accessories to actually do something with it. But hey, what are you gonna do? New company now, so that's what we're dealing with. You got a lanyard, so if you have a big hand, you could always wrap a good lanyard in there with a nice big knot in there, and that'll give you a little bit more to fit in the hand. But thickness wise, it's, you know, then the handle, it's pretty good. I mean, if you look at, compared to the keen natter, it's thicker than that. Maybe not so much in the thickness that way, but it's wider from side to side that way. So, and even with the Vero, you know, handle wise, it's right up there. So it's an interesting knife, definitely. You know, you know, this last batch of closed steels for 2021, he's got a bunch of interesting knives coming up. So, you know, we'll see. You know, it's definitely a perfect example of, I think, the last of the great cold steel, but we shall see, guys. So that's it for today. That is the Kyoto 1. Pretty cool little fixed blade, guys. We'll catch you on the next one. Make sure you like and subscribe, because we always have more Tanto knife collections and stuff coming up in the future. So catch you on the next one, guys. Have a great day.